Army Chief Kīdñäp. Angry Biafran soldiers crush the Nigerian army, release Wøtø as they burnt down the old army barracks in the southeast. My people, shey una don see wetin the Nigerian soldiers use their own hand cause for themselves. You see, we said it. This is exactly what the army chief of Muhammad Buhari, that's the first army chief Muhammad Buhari appointed. You know, this is what he caused for himself when he came in. When he came into power, he was so aggressive that he didn't even give the southeasterners a breathing space. But what really happened to him? What happened to him? They not touch him. Now the god of Biafra na deal with him. He died of plane crash, if you can all remember. Now, this very one has happened again, but this one's received a physical brutality. You'll be hearing the whole story from. You'll be hearing the confession coming from an analyst who stood as a witness to all that happened. Because if we talk they would all say, the Lord TV, you don't come again. The Biafran Liberation Army crushed all Musa boys and aside Dokubo's boys. This really happened in Olo. No be small thing. Look when I hear this one. Please, I would like you to spend me a little of your time. Go nowhere. Don't do anything while listening to this. Pay attention and do your best to get something out from what you will be hearing right now, because it really matters to you. Please, let's watch this.
Doubts and confusion have emerged over Commander Caterpillar's true allegiance, with some suspecting he might be collaborating with the Nigerian government, the zoo. However, some critics have raised suspicion that some Biafrans are aiding the Nigerian government in targeting their fellow citizens. Commander Gentle is being portrayed by his critics as a dangerous figure, even as others in the movement continue to support him. EBK, another voice in the struggle, accused Commander Gentle of kidnapping, killing and organ harvesting, vowing not to rest until Commander Gentle is stopped. EBK sent a voice message warning Biafrans to be alert and not tolerate criminals using the Biafran movement as cover. He strongly emphasized that true freedom fighters do not kill their own people, warning against criminal elements in disguise. EBK remains determined to eliminate Commander Gentle and his followers, claiming they are damaging the Biafra cause. This highlights growing divisions, mistrust, and infighting within the Biafran liberation movement. There are calls for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, with some suggesting only he can restore order and unity to the Biafran cause. The current state of the Biafran struggle is described as chaotic, with no clear leadership and rising confusion among followers. They are concerned that if this internal crisis continues, the Biafran dream may collapse under the weight of betrayal and criminal infiltration. The problem at the heart of this explosive story is not just another battle between armed groups in the southeastern region of Nigeria. It goes deeper, far beyond guns and uniforms, far beyond the names like Commander Gentle, Commander Caterpillar, or even EBK. At its core, it is a war for identity, justice, and the very survival of a people who have been brutalized, marginalized, and dehumanized for decades by a system that was never built to serve them. This story revolves around the ongoing war for Biafra's liberation, but it also painfully exposes the cracks that have begun to form within the very walls of the liberation movement. It is a story of betrayal, blood, and bitterness. And yet, It is also a story of hope, courage, and the unyielding cry of a people who refuse to surrender. The trouble began once again in Okigwe and Olu, two symbolic regions of the Biafran struggle where brave sons and daughters of the land have for long risen to defend their ancestral soil. These two places have been burned repeatedly by the flames of war, first by the Nigerian military during the 1967 to 1970 Biafran genocide, and now by internal conflict threatening to devour the soul of the very movement that seeks to save them. The Biafran Liberation Army, a military arm of the Biafra Freedom Cause, recently launched a crushing assault against forces believed to be loyal to Musa Boys and Asari Boys, mercenaries known to be acting under the influence of the Nigerian government and her oppressive military structure. These external enemies, reportedly bankrolled by forces bent on ensuring Biafra never rises again, invaded Olu and Okigwe, hoping to destroy the resistance. But they failed. According to voices within the Biafran movement, including eyewitnesses and local supporters, the Biafran Liberation Army showed gallant strength. It was not just a physical victory, but a spiritual one. The people, bruised but not broken, felt a sense of reassurance that the land had not been sold completely. The retreat of the Musa Boys and Asari Boys from Orlu and Okigwe marked a symbolic cleansing of external oppressors from Biafran land, even if only temporarily. However, just when many thought the land was regaining control from its colonial tormentors, a deeper crisis erupted, one that has shaken the foundations of Biafra's dream itself. Within the movement, serious accusations have emerged. Commander Gentle, a fighter once praised by many, is now at the center of a hurricane of controversy. His name has become synonymous with betrayal, according to his critics, who now claim he has abandoned the sacred oath of protecting the land and has allegedly turned his weapons against his own people. This allegation, if true, marks one of the most heartbreaking twists in the history of the Biafran liberation movement. One of his fiercest critics, Commander Caterpillar, delivered a scathing condemnation of Gentle's actions. In a public message that rippled through every Biafran support group, both online and offline, Caterpillar accused Commander Gentle and his team, including someone named Jamaica, of heinous crimes, including killing fellow Biafrans, extorting families, and worst of all, collaborating with outsiders to betray the sacred struggle. Caterpillar, a man known for his rugged defense of Igbo land, declared with a tone of heartbreak and frustration that he would never, under any circumstances, kill a fellow Biafran for money, fame, or power.
Now, my dear listeners, that is where I really want you to get. You see, all these that happened actually happened in Olo and Okigwe. And you agree with me that this has been in fact, the center place that these Nigerian soldiers has been invading the most. And that is because Governor Uzodinjo, the one the Fulani has been using to steal the resources in the southeast, actually permits that. But he is receiving his own Wøtø. He did receive and two for now he's begging for negotiation. He's begging the men on ground, the Biafran Liberation Army, for negotiation. What betide him? What he want negotiate for? If he does say he get mind, he get mouth. Abi? We could live like that. We could live like that. Make everybody they suffer them. My dear listeners, I want to tell you that the Biafrans want peace, but Nigerian government does not want peace. But because they don't want peace, they keep receiving it. I only pity the poor soldiers who they are pushing to the war front. And most of them are even Biafrans who sold themselves to the animal kingdom called Nigeria. And that's why they end up using them. So you understand? So anyway, everything being equal, my dear listeners, I greet you. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and also send us messages to get you updated each time we upload any new videos. Thank you.